Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland,
New York,
New Jersey,
Minneapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan.
Iowa,
Massachusetts,
Georgia, Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club.
and Wilderness Lodge.
And you're listening to
and you're listening
You're
You're
listening
listening
to My
Hey there, folks. Welcome to the My DVC Points Community Hall Live. I am your host tonight, Sandy, and I am so excited to be talking about this wonderful topic. It's a trip report, basically, from our friend Roxanne talking about her swap that she did using her points for a stay at Anna Maria Island. So looking forward to getting into that soon with her. But before we start off the show, let's talk a little bit about our sponsor. So tonight's sponsor is the DVC Rental Store. Now, you know that you can take your points and you can rent them out to other people who would like to stay at Walt Disney World, or maybe they want to stay at Olani or at Vero, my favorite. And you can take the cash from those points and then use it to pay your dues, or maybe book travel to somewhere else. Maybe you want to head off to Disneyland and you don't necessarily have the ability to get in to the Disneyland hotel villas or to the Grand Californian. So this is a great way to take the money from those points and then be able to do other types of vacationing. Maybe you want to go to Europe. Maybe you want to go on a cruise. These are all great options for using those points and getting yourself some cash for their rental value. Now, we'd love to welcome to the show Roxanne.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you,
Roxanne. How are you
Sandy?
doing tonight?
Doing good, thanks.
I'm
How are
so
you?
excited to talk to you about this topic because we've been talking about it like off and on until you actually left on vacation. So for all of
Yes.
you that don't know, Roxanne and I are actually really good friends. So it's something that we've been talking about off and on for the last little while. So I'm really excited to get your trip report for everybody else now
Yep.
tonight and to hear about all the nitty-gritties about your vacation there. So to start off, let's talk a little bit about what that swap process was. So my understanding is you basically put your points into like a pot and say, hey, I would like to swap for this property.
Mhm.
And, these are the points and the locations that I have points. And can you fill the amount that I would need by swapping these points out for this other property? And
Mhm.
just to clarify, that property is actually owned, I believe, by the DVC resale market or by the who's it owned by, Roxanne? Why don't you get into a little bit more of
The
those details?
the CEO of the DVC resale store and market, the whole world of
Mhm.
DVC, I guess you would call it. So it's his personal residence, and he rents it quite a bit, and he uses it too with his family. So it's just amazing that he would put this amazing house up for so many of us to have the opportunity to rent. So I was pretty excited about that. I was watching the World of DVC podcast, and it was the very first episode where they talked about point swapping, and they just kind of talked about what it is and how if you wanted to go somewhere other than Disney World or Alani or Vero or
Yeah.
Disneyland, they were going to have these opportunities, and they were going to start with a few: Universal, Adventures by Disney,
Mhm.
Disney Cruise, and then they talked about this beach house in Anna Maria Island, which I had never heard of, but it's near Tampa. It's about an hour and 15 minutes away from Tampa, kind of near Siesta Key and Sarasota, which is like an amazing part of the Florida West Coast. Beaches are amazing. So I was like, this sounds really interesting. So then I quickly jumped on the website and looked at it, and the website had all the opportunities you could, take. But I really zeroed in on that beach opportunity because I really wanted to try something new. Because at that point, I had just met my goal of staying at all of the DVC
I
resorts.
know. I
Now that
remember
I have
that.
Disneyland Tower, we've got a problem because now I have to go back to Cali, but that's all right. It's a good excuse, right?
You might
But
need more points. Who knows?
yeah, I know. Yeah, we won't go there. But so I was looking at the website, and basically what you do is there's all these available options, like I was saying, and based on there's a point chart, kind of like the point chart we're all used to, and looking at the season and when you want to go, or they have different weeks and different points, and basically you talk to one of the swap advisors. There's Ellie and Paul are the two main ones that I dealt with.
Mhm.
And they were great, and they basically tell you how many points you'll need for that week. So, and then from there, if you want to do it, you sign a rental contract, just like you would when you're renting any beach house, let's
VRBO or
say.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep. So you do sign a contract with them, and then you do tell them which points you have in your account, which use year that you are willing to use for that swap to get those points fulfilled.
So
And
tell us a
so I
little,
had Beach Club, which I hated to give up, but I did have Beach Club, and those rented really fast.
of course.
Yeah.
That's great. So you were
Yeah.
able to
And then I
rent
had
those
some
out
Riviera points too. So,
and so that's interesting
yep.
to know that you don't have to have them all at the same location. You can have them at different resorts, and sometimes that can play into your favor. And then how long did it take before they had all of them rented out for you?
Oh, I would say probably a beach club was gone within a week or two because I only had
Mhm.
150 beach club. You can use, you can borrow if you're willing to borrow. So I'm
Mhm.
sure I had to borrow because I don't have as many points as I need. I had it to do into a different use year. So I used a whole year of points plus a little bit from the next year.
Mhm.
Um, the week I was going was what was I thought was a bargain. It was 612 points for a 7-night stay, which, I mean, Sandy, if you think about it, I don't even have enough points to stay a week in, a bungalow or a Copper Creek cabin, but I could get a
Exactly.
beachfront house.
It's
Like
crazy,
a
right?
Copper Creek cabin, I was looking it up, it would be like 900 points that week, and the bungalow's over 1,000 points. So
Mhm.
for the 612 for 7 nights, that's way less than a grand villa, right?
Mhm.
Not a
No, that's
bad deal, I
amazing.
thought. So, yeah, it's amazing I thought it was a good value.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So once you had that all rented up with them, they rented them
Oh
out
my
for you,
gosh.
and then you were able to, like, go through your booking. Now, do you know if they allow you to do a portion of that? Let's say you don't have enough
Yep.
points to rent out for that. Are you able to do a portion of those, for like, cash if you needed to? Like, let's say you didn't have enough points
So,
that were
yep, you can
available.
also so if you don't have enough points, yeah, exactly. Yep. So you can do a combination of points or cash.
Mhm.
And the other thing I really like is you can do it with another family. So like if you and I
That's
want
true.
to go there,
Hmm.
we could split it, which would be a
That's
real
a
bargain.
great
I
idea,
think that would be
actually.
great because it sleeps 10 people.
That's incredible. Wow.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit more
Yeah.
about the house. Tell us everything. So is it hard to get to? Like, where did you fly into to start and start kind of like the arrival?
Okay. So not hard to get to. Flew into Tampa, direct flight, 3 hours on Southwest. Using, the Chad had talked about the Families Fly Free, a lot of those travel hacks. We were able to fly for no cost on Southwest because I had enough points for the 5 of us. So that was a good
Mhm.
savings. So I thought that was really great. So basically, you fly into Tampa. It was about an hour and 15-minute drive. So rented a car and Costco Travel, which is another great tip. I've always done really well with Costco Travel. And if you have the executive membership, which is, I think it's like 120 a year, you get
Yeah.
you get
And you get the
points
cash back.
back
Yeah.
on that. Yep, you
Mhm.
get points on that. So you get that money back. So that helps too. So you get there and it's a Saturday to Saturday rental. And oh, we see some pictures
Great
here. Here we go.
pictures. Look at that.
Unbelievable. And initially we've got 3 younger adults, I would say. So a 17-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 22-year-old. And they're like, why
Mhm.
are we not going to the parks? We go every August. Why are we doing something different? They weren't too excited about it. They're like, we don't like sitting on beaches. It's kind of boring.
Mhm.
We've always gone to Cape Cod and they're kind of bored with that. So
Yeah.
they were not really excited about this, I have to be honest. But once we opened that front door and just saw this amazing house. It's 3 levels, so you walk in and then you go upstairs to the main level, and it is like a party house. It has
So cute.
everything you would need. I mean, you do
Look at
not
that
want
kids
for
room.
anything. It's fully stacked. Oh, yeah. The bunk bedroom was, like, amazing. They had it professionally decorated by a former, Disney engineer, and a local, interior designer helped them decorate it with the color schemes, the artwork, beautiful artwork in the home, all the furniture. It was just built in 2020, so it's, like, super
Brand
modern.
new. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just immaculate. And it's just like a fun house. Like, you can see, like, the foosball table, the golf putting
Golf.
green,
Yeah.
the outdoor bar with the fridge. There was
That's really made
10
for indoor outdoor living too.
totally, 10 TVs. I mean, there was TVs everywhere. That swing, downstairs, that swing. And there was just like you can see all the seating areas, like, you could sit at the bar, you could sit at that table there and eat, you could sit at those nice chairs. It had that swing. You could lay and read a book. You could, there
And
was
some kayaks
cornhole.
back there
Uh,
too, looks like.
yep, they had kayaks. They had these glass bottom boats. And they had the 3 balconies, and then in the front of the house, there's balconies too. So, the really nice thing was each of our 3 kids had their own bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. There's 6
Oh, that's
bathrooms
amazing.
and 4 bedrooms. So, I mean, this is people like, we have always gone in studios when my kids were little,
Yeah,
and then we kinda moved up to 1 bedrooms, and now I'm really kind of preferring the 2 bedrooms now that the kids are older. But
yeah, for
to
sure.
have a 4-bedroom house, Sandy, was like, it's 6
It's
bathrooms, it's,
incredible.
like, unbelievable, and for
That's
612
amazing.
points, I mean, I can't even afford a grand villa, but I can afford this. So that was just, like, unbelievable. I couldn't even believe it. But everything's there, like, the garage, 2-car garage, everything's in there. There's beach toys, coolers, floats, there's, uh, you know, all kinds of boats and, anything you need for the beach. But the beach is right there, so you never have to, like, do anything with your car.
That's
We
great.
rented a golf cart for the week, and so
No
we
way,
had a
that's so
golf
cute.
cart, and every day we went around in the golf cart. We went to see the sunsets in the golf cart. We went out to dinner in the golf cart, and the golf cart, you could pair with your music. So we had the music blare, and we're, like, driving down the road, with our golf
That's so
cart with
cool.
the music. The kids loved it. And we let the kids drive the golf cart, so they had a really good time driving around the island in the golf cart.
No
Um,
kidding.
but, they were not bored. Like, usually teenagers kinda don't wanna, I don't know, go on vacation with their parents, or they just, a lot of times in the parks, they'll go off and they'll go on the rides, and we'll meet up a couple hours later or whatever after dinner. Um, and sometimes they'll stay out later, and we'll go back to the room without them.
Mhm.
And this was just, like, the 5 of us, like, spending so much quality
Oh,
time
that's
together. Like,
amazing.
there's a card room with like, poker table, and there's one of those golden tee golf simulators, and there's a big, humongous electronic Scrabble board, and they played Scrabble for hours,
Oh, that's
and
so
they
cool.
played, oh, and there's a Pac-Man, GameCube, and there's a Mario Kart, and there was just so much to do. Like,
At the
you
house
weren't,
itself, yeah.
yeah, and just, like, every night, we would, after dinner, would come back, and throw on the bathing suits, and we put on the nice lights, and we would go swimming at night, because, Florida at night, the warm tropical breeze, especially right on the
Mhm.
water, and the view was amazing. We would
That's so
go in the hot
cool.
tub, and then the lights, the colored lights in the pool, in the hot tub, and the pool was like a U-shaped. So,
Mhm.
and it had, like, pool bar chairs inside the pool,
Oh, that's
um,
fun.
and the hot tub, as you can see there, and
Mhm.
just seeing the water right there. It was just amazing. And then what we ended up doing was, they had a whole house sound system, so the kids, so they could play their music. And anytime they were outside or inside the house, they had the whole house sound system inside as well. So the kids loved that, because they were constantly out at the pool, like, playing their music, and I'm like, "Turn it down, there's neighbors." But it was, the sound system was, like, amazing there, and the
That's so
lighting
cool.
system, and, like, you didn't, and there was, like, a bathroom right there at the pool, so you didn't even have to go back in the house to use the bathroom, and it's just outdoor bar with a fridge. I mean, and the inside, the way he had it stocked with, like, plastic barware, glassware, full bar setup if you wanted to make drinks or anything, sub-zero fridge, humongous stove with, all the fancy, but everything was stacked, like, with the dishes, the pots and pans, the coffee maker. He had even coffee there. He had, like, left us a bottle of wine, um,
Aw, that's nice.
and just, like, everything you needed. Like, you honestly didn't, we went to Publix, bought some things, but mostly we ate out every night, but we'd eat breakfast in once in a while, or lunch some days, or just snacks. And it was just so different than what we're used to, right? Because we're used to go, go, go on rides all day. To
Yeah,
sit there as a family and spend so much quality time together, and the kids being happy and just not being
and
bored.
yeah, exactly, and
Unbelievable.
spending time with each other too. That's a really nice thing as well, right?
Mhm.
Um, so I have a couple questions before we get to
Yeah.
that question. So a couple questions about things that are, part of the house. So you're right on the beach, so that I think we kind of touched on, but we didn't say,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're right on the beach." That view is incredible.
10
There's a
10
little
steps,
gate to get down.
beach chairs and umbrellas.
Yeah,
So you had all
looks
that right there too, to pop right on the beach if you wanted to sit on
that's
the
great.
sand.
Yeah. And then so you could run out into the ocean. What was the beach like there? Was the ocean calm? Was it rocky? Were you able to snorkel?
Yeah, you're right on the bay, so it's very calm. The waves aren't too bad at all. We got really lucky because they had a hurricane a week later, so I got really lucky. Thank God. You can buy travel insurance. I did not have travel insurance, so I got really
Okay.
lucky, but it was perfect weather. Never got any rain or anything. Beautiful every day. Warm tropical evenings, really nice. And
Yeah,
the
for
water was
sure.
really clear. I mean, it looked like you were in the Caribbean. Like you could see some of the pictures that we put up. So like green, just green blue. It was unbelievable. And we did see some dolphins and some manatees. And the sunset and the sunrise. So the sunrise was from the house. We'd get up and have our coffee on the balcony, and you
Oh,
could see
cool.
there's the sunrise.
Yeah.
And the sunset, we get in the golf cart and go up up maybe about a 2-minute golf ride, and it was to the tip of the island, and you could see the sunset. It was amazing, and people would be walking the beach and taking pictures for the sunset every night.
That's so cool. Okay, so a couple of questions about the island itself. Number one, you said that you flew in through Tampa. So how do you get to the island?
Yes. So it is very easy. You are going basically south. You're going towards, Naples, I would say, right? Because
Mhm.
Tampa is not too far from Orlando, West Coast, and then you're driving and you're going over the whole Causeway Bridge to get onto the island. It's a very small island, but very residential. There's no high rises and there's nothing over like 3 stories.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of new construction. People are building quite a bit of homes there.
Mhm.
So we were impressed with that. And there's a lot of really good restaurants. We went on TripAdvisor and we looked at the top 10 and the ratings. And there's a Facebook group. And I joined that about 6 months before going. And I was just kind of like making notes of the places that people
Yeah, for sure.
recommended for like breakfast or dinners or things to do. But it is not a party island. Like there's no high rise hotels. It's mostly families and couples, I would say. It's more of a mellow, like laid back vibe, which
And
was
then as
kind of
far
what
as
we needed.
like you said that you stocked up on like snacks and things like that. So were you able to get that on the island or did you have to go off the island for that sort of thing?
Yep. So if you go off the island, you're in Bradenton, Florida, and you're very close to Sarasota, which is Siesta Key Beach. That's another good area. You could get there within about a half hour. And we like that area as well, but that's like more built up with like high rises, like the
Mhm.
Marriotts and that kind of thing. This is like no chain hotels or anything like that. It's all private, I would say condos and private homes.
Okay, that's great. And then
Yeah.
you also mentioned the golf cart. So tell us more about this.
Oh my gosh, totally worth it. Um, because there's 5 of us, we had to rent a 6 person because there's 4 or 6 passenger, which is a little more money,
Yeah.
but we did a Saturday to Saturday golf cart. We brought it back Friday night just because we didn't want to deal with it Saturday morning, but
Mhm.
really fun. And
So where did
for
you
what
get
we
it
paid,
from?
it was
Was
totally
there like
worth it. Oh, there's tons of golf cart places right on the island you can rent for the week, quite a few. And
okay,
and
cool.
on the Facebook group, they had recommended a few, so I went with one of those.
That's neat. And then you would just park it in the garage at night, I would imagine, next to the car.
Yep, just right there. Yep, even out front, either or. Yep,
That's fun.
yeah, it was really
Very
fun to
cool.
tool around in a golf cart. Yep.
So now we can get to that question, Gina. There we go. When you checked out, did you have to clean anything like
Did you have
an
to clean?
Airbnb?
Oh, no. I mean, I did all the laundry. I did all the laundry before we left for all of us, and I washed all the towels. They had a lot of beach towels, and with 6 bathrooms, they had tons of towels. And they had a big soaking tub in the master, so I used that. That was really relaxing. So I did all the towels. I don't think I had to, but they said just leave all the sheets and everything right on the bed, move back any furniture and put stuff back in the garage. That was all they really asked. And I got to tell you, the service was really good because the property manager, she came by 2 or 3 times during the week and wanted to know, at one point we couldn't figure out the elevator. There's a private elevator in the home. And I know I couldn't figure it out, but she's like, no, there's directions. And she was showing us, she had to close the door and she showed us there's a gym. They had a gym up on the 3rd floor, little with
Oh,
weights and
wow.
stuff and a couple machines. Yeah. My son got a kick out of the gym. And she was like, what questions do you have? And she was great. And then they had a landscaper come every other day and
Oh,
they would come and talk to you and they would get rid of all the pine needles and just kind of trim the
make sure the pool was
hedges, and
okay.
they would wash the glass to the pool,
Mhm.
and they would rake the sand and get rid of the seaweed for you.
Oh, interesting. That's
And then we
great.
had a pool service came every other day as well, and they would clean the pool and vacuum it, and I was just like, "Where's the masseuse and, like, the personal chef at this point?" Because I mean, it was just, like, all in
Next trip, Roxanne,
service,
you'll
so
know better. You'll get them to come in.
my husband's like, "That would be the perfect thing. Where's the masseuse?" So we were laughing, but no, the service is
Well, if
great,
they're
and
listening, maybe a personal chef wouldn't be such a bad idea to have them come in and be available for, like, dinners.
it would be nice, yes. It was a good life for a week, for sure, living in a luxury beach house because I had never experienced anything, like, quite so luxurious, and, it was and my kids were making jokes all week like, "I could get used to this lifestyle. We should come
You're
back
like,
here
"You're
again." Like,
not getting used to this."
yeah, this is like high roller for sure, but, and they're still talking about it to this day. Like, they're like,
Oh,
"I'm
that's
so
great.
glad we did that. It was so fun. I would do that again. I wanna go back. It was such a that house, was bawling," and all these adjectives that teenagers use, and they were
Yeah,
Instagramming it the whole week with their friends, so,
that's cool.
um, they were definitely showing it off on social media. Their friends were going, "Wow, that looks good. Really nice." So, it was funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, what else was fun to do in the of your own? So it was just basically a week full of family time. Like, do you have any recommendations for stuff that you would do around Anna Maria Island?
Yeah, so I mean, tons of like parasailing and you can rent jet skis, a lot of upscale dining and just kind of going over the bridge. There's more like other places off the island as well. And we also did Busch Gardens. I have a picture in there. We
Oh, fun. So you did
yeah,
get
we
some
drove
theme
over.
parks in.
We got the day and pro tip there, we got the tickets on Cyber Monday and we got I think it
Okay.
was 40 or 50% off. So we got a really good price for Busch Gardens.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it was a good deal. So I bought the one-day ticket on Cyber Monday knowing I'd be going the following August, so
That's so
many
cool.
months in advance. So we had those tickets and super easy just to redeem them
That's a great tip.
in
Fantastic tip.
Tampa, and yeah, it was really fun.
So you did get some theme parks in. You weren't theme park free. Wasn't the
One
true
day,
theme
yep.
park free.
No, but I wanted to go back to the house. I was like, "Why are we here?" And we went to Topgolf right after, so we were gone pretty early that morning. We didn't get back till 5 or 6 at night. I'm like,
Mm.
"I need to be at this beach house, and I have to maximize these views." They were like, "Okay." I'm like, "I don't wanna leave." I didn't wanna leave there. I never wanted to leave because there was so much to do in the house and so much entertainment and just, like, trying to get it all in, and
Yeah,
enjoy, like, soak up every minute and
that's it
just not bored
exactly.
at all. I mean, I was a little worried about being bored, and I was not bored. And the kids weren't bored, so
Mhm.
that was very surprising because I thought they would wanna be entertained more, and there was so much there to entertain them that they were happy, so it
They
worked
had a
out,
good
yeah.
time. That's amazing. That's amazing. So any other quick tips for Anna Maria Island?
Oh, I would just say, very casual, it's more like get up early, enjoy the
The
sunrise, and
sunrise.
probably in bed by, like, 10, 11. Because the island does shut down. I would say most of the restaurants are closed by, like, 9 p.m. But they
Yeah.
had some beautiful restaurants where you could, like, literally you're sitting with your toes in the sand, live music. We went to a couple pubs, and they have a couple Irish pubs, and we went
Okay.
there for, like, a nightcap. But no, just hanging out at the beach. I just want to be in that pool because the water was it was a heated pool. Obviously, it was
Yeah,
August, plus the
that's
hot tub. It was
amazing.
just so relaxing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm guessing from the way that you're talking about it that you felt it was worth the points.
Oh, totally. I would do another swap in a minute, and I feel like I would go back to that house. I don't want to go back, anytime in the next year, whatever. I'd give it a couple of years, but I would totally do that again because I felt like it was just a different type of vacation.
Mhm.
And it just kinda mixed it up a little bit because 'cause we're always at the theme parks, much as you and Gina and your families are. It's great but it's nice to try different things too. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I would definitely keep an open mind and, if this is something you're considering, look at the point charts for 2024, and see if there's a week that could work for you or maybe go in on it with another family.
Yeah, no,
And
it's a
if you
great
don't have a
great
lot of
suggestion.
points, yeah, you can borrow from your other year, borrow some points and do it that way.
Yeah.
And, or go in with another family or come up with the cash to pay the difference for what you don't have if you don't have enough points. But there are some bargain weeks to be had. There's some weeks that are expensive, like Christmas and 4th of July, which there'd just be a ton of points you would need for it. But there were many weeks, I saw some weeks in the 400 and something point range.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. Split that with
Not
another
bad at all.
family. If you're at 500 points, let's call it, on some of the weeks,
Yeah,
that's
exactly. No, that makes a great
250 each.
bargain. So
Yeah.
when you were doing your research for this particular beach house, were there other things that have popped up that were in the same vein? So like, were there other houses you could rent, other things that aren't necessarily theme park related, or like other things that are kind of in the Florida area? I know that they used to have a couple of other properties as well. Can you also do the swap for other properties, maybe in the Orlando area?
They do. They have luxury vacation homes. A lot of them are in like Reunion or Champions Gate, and some of
Mhm.
them are Kissimmee, but they're literally 10-bedroom homes. They're like mansions. You could literally get a mansion, and there's all price points. There's smaller homes with 3 bedrooms, but then they go up to 12 bedrooms. I saw some of them. I mean, all private pools
Incredible.
with hot tubs. And I mean,
Yeah.
these are like, this house was 3,000 square feet, which I felt was big because it had the 3 levels. And
Yeah.
especially the outdoor over the top, as you can see in the pictures, are just gorgeous. And it's
Incredible.
2020, so it's new. But
Mm.
these houses that they have for rent on that swap program, I mean, you could go with 20 people. You could do
It's-
a family reunion there. Like, it's
I was gonna
crazy.
say, it feels like we need to have a meetup at one of these places.
It would be so much fun.
That's awesome. So is there anything else that I haven't asked you about that you'd like to tell us about
Uh,
the swap
I
program and about
mean,
how you like the island and stuff?
I would say just, look at what they have to offer, because I feel like it is a good value and it's a way to do it. Because there's no way I would have found this, first of all. And I'd never even heard of Anna Maria Island. I love the Florida West Coast beaches, but I'd never heard of this island. But it just, to have an open mind and go, you know what, I'm going to try something different. And Disney, as much as we love it, the parks are going to be there. Try, just like I've said, and
Yeah.
you've said this too, with Vero and
Mhm.
Hilton
Hilton
Head and
Head,
Alani, like,
Aulani.
totally opens up your whole frame of reference.
We are the
Um,
beach family.
yeah. If you like a nice beach vacation, this would be definitely one to look at. And those mansions in Kissimmee area are great. I mean, Universal Orlando, we're going to do another swap show on that. You can do a lot with Universal, and skip the line. And so we'll talk more about that at the other show. But there's a
Mhm.
lot you can do here. They've got cruises you can swap for, Adventures by Disney you can swap. And if you look at what Disney's asking, it's outrageously priced. But if you do it through this, it's going to be a lot better
Yeah.
pricing. You get some more. It's a better value, as you know.
Yeah, and it's the same vein as, like, if you were to rent out the points as well. Yes, you can do the swap, but you can also equally be able to, like, go in there, rent out your points if it's not quite right. If it's maybe
Yeah,
not quite the right fit, you can work with your, travel agent to be able to work through that as well, which is kind of fun.
yeah, I think so too. Is there anything in the chat that people want to know? I think.
Yeah, folks, any
we-
questions?
Did we answer
I feel like we've
everything?
been, like, rambling on here. Okay. So interesting. I'm interested in Adventures by Disney trip. So that's a great use of it. You can definitely rent out those points and swap it out, or
Hmm.
contact a travel agent that specializes in Adventures by Disney to do that as well.
Yep.
Is that
Yeah.
it?
And they're
That's it.
great to work with. They were really good. Like, I would email Paul every so often and be like, how
Mhm,
close am I? How many more points do I need? And they'll work
mhm.
with you. You can either claim an open listing and do it right away. Like with Beach Club, those were gone, like I said, in probably a week, not even a couple days. And then Riviera took a little longer because
Yeah.
obviously if you have Grand Cal or Beach Club, they're going to go really quick.
Now
But
explain that a little bit though. So the swapping process is you give them the points
mhm.
and then you tell them these are the points that I'm willing to rent out.
Yes,
They find the renters for you.
they do. But there's a little bit of work on your part. So I just kind of kept a
Get into
little,
that a little bit. Like
yeah.
what's the legwork on the person who's renting out the points for the swap?
Okay, so they have 2 options. So there's open listing, and you can go in and look at their website. You just set up an account and you claim an open listing. So if I go in there right now and I see one that says Riviera, 100 points, $18 a point, right? Because it's more than, the 7-month or whatever. Um, then if it's 7 months or less, you're not going to get the $18. So you want to look at the ones that are, the longer time horizon. And basically they just they just keep an internal accounting to say, okay, if you need 600 points, let's call it. So you got 100 on this one and you got, but you do have to, so that's the open listing. Otherwise they can send you an email alert and say, okay, this person's requesting Riviera and that's what I'm willing to give up. And you go and book it first. So when you book it, you do have to book it. They tell you the person's name, their address, their phone number, their kids' names and ages, you put it all in.
Okay.
And then you basically book it for them.
Okay.
And then you have to call Disney and either call or chat and change the lead guest and take your name off because I'm not traveling with this family that I'm booking it for. So I remove myself and then I ask them for a new confirm. And then I forward the email confirm from Disney to the rental store. And then they give that to the renter. And if the person cancels, they deal with finding me another renter. So, it's less risk than doing it on your own because you got to come up with these funds to get this rental paid off.
And all the ones that you rented with the rental store, those ones went through, they were fine.
Yep, no cancellations, but they would work with you on that, and they'd work with the person that has to, if there's a family emergency or something, they have a guarantee. Yeah. So, but they were great to deal with. Paul, and I would email him or Ellie and say, how, where am I at? And okay, you need another 50 from Riviera. Okay, I'll work on it. So. I think at the end I was short a little bit. I owed a couple $100 or something like, I'm trying to, because you got to try to get either a little more and then they can pay you out, or if you're a little short, you can pay them with a credit card or whatever. So yeah. And they just keep an internal accounting. It's all organized. You don't have to pay any taxes on that because, you didn't get the cash. You didn't take the cash. So there's no tax.
They kept it in-house.
Yeah, they kept it in-house, so there's no tax ramifications. You don't have to worry about the taxable event, which is cool.
Is there a deposit that you have to put down to start the process, or they just?
No, I just signed the rental agreement and said I wanted that week. And then they do have, he had a thing where you could get all your money back if it was 6 months or less if you canceled or something, or 6 months or more. So, it's just like a regular reservation. You can't cancel, 30 days out because they're kind of counting on you. So
the cancellation is 6 months. So that's actually a really,
to get all your money.
Something to keep in mind for sure.
Yep.
That final payment comes 6 months before your actual travel dates. Which is good though, because you're renting out at 7 months. It should be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so Eric asks, is your rental return valued greater if you do the swap compared to a rental for cash?
No, it's $18 is, I think, per point was what they're currently at. They were at the time. And then it's less if you're at the, I think it's Saratoga and Old Key West plus at 7 months or less. It's less, but I just kept with the 18. I said, listen, I'm not interested because I need to get the most money I can to get this paid off. Yeah. So I'm not willing to rent anything under 18. And they worked with me on that. They said, okay, no problem. We'll get you the $18 ones, but those are longer, right? So I might be booking something 10 months from now or 11 months from now at Riviera, but
exactly.
It was fine. They didn't mind.
So what happens if your rental, the person who's renting points from you, the trip is after your trip date and they cancel?
I asked him that and he said, don't worry about that. It's in a policy that we really value. I mean, he has a contract, so he's going to get his money. There's not really, and I would never do that anyways, but now if there's an emergency, I think
that's out of your control, right? So if the person's not renting anymore?
Exactly. Then got to find a replacement or whatever. They can also put it on their website as a confirmed reservation.
Gotcha.
That's the other thing too, because any of those beach club people would pick up in a heartbeat. Yeah,
for sure. For sure. That's for sure. So that makes it a little bit simpler to understand. So basically you pick the property that you would like to stay at, you see whether or not it's available, and then you figure out how many points that will take you.
Yep.
You then contact them and ask them to look into renting those points out, to swap them for that beach property. And then from that point, it is then they work with you for the rental stuff to be able to get that in. There is a slight little bit of risk if someone cancels, but then they would work with you in order to make sure that spot is filled in making them a kind of like an already booked reservation. And then 6 months before payment,
I think it's even less than 6 months.
I'm going to put in
if there's not even
they need to have all the points rented out. That would be equivalent to your stay. And then there's no cancellation at that point. Once you hit that,
there is a cancellation 6 months or less. I think it's 50% of the money I would get back.
Okay.
Of what I had, or I could refind another date and they would try to find another open week and I could try to rent it a different week.
Well, that's
which
handy.
might be more or less points because they
Yeah,
have their,
exactly.
but
It'd be whatever the availability is at that point in
yeah,
time.
no, there was no backing out. I was so excited about this. I was like, I am
So,
there.
Facebook user, whoever you are, just got back from the Norway ABD, and it was
Uh,
amazing experience. She highly or he highly recommends. They highly recommend it.
sounds wonderful.
Glad to hear. Glad to
Yeah, no,
hear.
but if anyone has any questions, let me know. I can definitely answer any questions. Feel free to,
Well,
message
maybe
me
what we
through
should do
Facebook.
is start a thread on the Facebook page on the community hall, and then that way we can get one of the mods to pin it to the top of
Yeah,
the page. And then if anybody has any questions on the swap, they can
let me
put it
know.
in that thread there for Roxanne to talk about. Well, thank you, Roxanne. I think that's been like
Yeah,
super informative. I loved hearing about the house. It sounded fantastic and amazing and
it
incredible.
is. Yep.
Fantastic. And we highly recommend this, right? After having done it?
Oh, totally. I would love to. I was talking to friends of mine, like, we should do that together. I'm like, let me know. I'd be willing to go back
Exactly.
for
That's
the
it.
team.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
was amazing. Yeah.
That's so
It
cool.
was just such a great experience and just to spend that much quality time and try something different. And I think it's a vacation of a lifetime. You will not regret it. It is just an experience to live like that for a week. I can't even
It is. And so
tell you.
speaking of, incredible experiences and how to use your points and the rest of it, I think someone started a new project over on TikTok. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. You can find me at DVC VIP. And also, we have a new Interval International Facebook group, and it's also some DVC, but more Interval International. So it won't really compete with this, but it's Interval International and DVC VIP. So join the group, and hopefully, we can help you maximize. If you want to use anything in interval, we can help you with that. And then if you have any DVC questions, we can help you with that too. And I want to help people use their DVC points if they want to, or get getaways through Interval. So, DVC
Mhm.
has a free gold membership with Interval through the portal. And I can definitely help people maximize that. So, if you are looking to go on some additional vacations throughout the year, that is a great way to get some getaways because you can there's some good deals out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if you're out of points and you want to stay in Orlando, there's quite a few Marriotts and Sheraton, Vistana, and quite a few really nice properties that you
Right
could stay at.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty cheap if you're
exactly.
out of points. So think about it. It's a good
That's
way
it
to get
exactly.
back to Orlando.
So just to like circle back a little bit to this. So Roxanne has
Yes.
been doing this for over 20 years now between her Interval
Yep.
International and her different properties that she's owned through different timeshares. And so she's really learned along the way how to maximize those getaways. So, shout out to her either on the My DVC Points community hall. You'll find her there, or, you can message her directly or whatever to get her insight in that. But we have had many a conversation over like a Zoom call or a Facebook chat, whatever, together talking about all those great possibilities. And it's so much fun to daydream and to see where your DVC points can take you.
Yes. And
And
Sandy's my travel agent. So if anyone needs a really good travel agent,
aw, thank
and
you.
not just for she did my, California and a couple other tickets and rooms and stuff here and there, but Sandy can book it all. So
Aw, thank you. But yeah, it's really interesting to see all those different getaways that you can use your DVC points for that we're maybe
yeah.
a little hesitant on doing. And just to let you all know, I was just at Olani, and one of the
Mhm.
things that they do now when you go for the 3-bedroom tour is they talk about this. They
Oh,
talk about how you can use your points at other
interesting.
places around the world, which I think is like a new kind of push for them because they
Really?
never really used to do that in the past. And they actually went through a whole kind of demonstration as to like how you can go into the world collection and go check that out. And,
In
you know,
interval.
yeah, and then the Interval International, be able to swap out for different hotels and different things like
Mhm.
that. So it was really interesting to
Exciting.
see that the DVC guide who is doing the tour for the 3-bedroom was
Yeah.
actually he himself a user of those products and really enjoys it. So he had just been to Sydney, like really,
Yep.
really was an evangelist for how that product works and how we can, as members, swap out our points. So I don't know if it's because they want other people to discover Walt Disney World that would normally be with Interval, but yeah, they're
Mhm.
they're actively promoting it. So it's not
Yeah.
something that's kind of like taboo or a secret anymore. It's something that we should all start exploring and enjoying. And this, if I'm going to put, this is the lady to contact. She knows all about it. And there will be a show coming up later on this season with Chad.
Yep.
Going through all the ins and outs of all this interval international stuff, because it can be a little daunting once we get our feet firmly planted in the DVC mindset to start branching out to these other types of timeshares and how they work and the rest of it. But from what I can see from that demo, it was pretty darn easy. So I'm sure you'll be having a lot of people checking out those TikToks while you explain them.
Yeah. Check out the TikToks or the Facebook group, and there'll be ask questions, and we are going to be coming up with a course on how to use. I think it's going to be digital. I'm thinking about maybe doing some webinars, some live webinars as well. But I am going on 30 years doing this. So if you can sit there and spend the years, or just learn it quickly through a course and save yourself a whole lot of headache. And
For sure.
I've learned a lot of hacks and ways to get good exchanges and good getaways, and you can use it for hotels as well. So the sky's the limit, honestly. It's just having enough vacation time, we need to retire early or something, because it's just having as much vacation. Or if you work from home, it's another option. Travel and work during the day with your
work
laptop.
from somewhere else. Exactly.
Yeah,
So long as there's good Wi-Fi, some
Yep.
folks can work from anywhere. Yeah, I mean, you've had really great successes. My favorite to
have.
hear about recently was up in Lake George, which is my neck of the woods.
Yes.
So lots and lots of lakefront cottages, different
Mhm.
types of accommodations that you can get with those getaways, and they don't have
Yeah.
to use the points either, which is amazing.
No, that was
So you could
yeah.
rent out your points and then get one of the getaways, right? Take the cash and
Mhm.
get one of those wonderful getaways through Interval
Mhm.
International. Lots
Yeah.
and lots of possibilities. So I am a huge fan of Roxanne's TikTok and her stuff that she's been doing there. So I urge you all to check it out. It's amazing. She's doing a great job.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate the support, and happy to help your travel business as well, and
Oh, thank
learn
you.
from each other. So that's what
For
this
sure.
community is all about. It's a
100%.
little family.
It is. It is. On that note, folks, though, we're going to leave you be. And
Thanks,
we'll
Sandy.
see you next
Good
week.
chatting with you.
Always.
Bye.